정도 스나이핑 성공할 수 있을지. 평균이 끝났어요. 2세트 대결을 시작합니다.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Deductor bringing you set 2 of Hwaseung Oz vs CJ Entus. In this game, we have any time playing for Hwaseung Oz as the Protoss player in the 1 o'clock position. Looks like he's the orange Protoss player. Apparently now he's the yellow Protoss player at the 1 o'clock position. And we have Skyhigh playing as the red Terran at the 7 o'clock position on this map, Circuit Breaker. Set 1 of this Pro League series was rather uneventful smackdown by Hydra of the poor sap that Hwaseung Oz sent out, this relatively new player alone. Hydra showing dominant form, why he's one of the best Zergs around today. On the other hand, this matchup we have anytime one of the old greats of StarCraft. He's a former OSL champion, went to a second OSL finals against Nada, I believe. That was when Nada won his goated mouse. In general, a very good Protoss player in his prime. Fortunately, now is sort of far out of his prime. On the other hand, Skyhigh is sort of a mediocre-ish, maybe slightly above mediocre player. I would say he's an above-average player for CJ Entus. He can definitely pull out the win when he wants to. Like, Skyhigh, when he plays well, is pretty awesome. However, he rarely plays super well. So I believe he actually once alt-killed in a Winners League. He beat Jaedong, and then somehow he managed to beat 3 other players on Hwaseung Oz. This was like several years ago. That was exciting. I could be wrong about who it was though, but it was definitely CJ versus Hwaseung, and I can't think of what other Terran on CJ might be able to do it, so I'm pretty sure it was Skyhigh. Anyway, so he can definitely pull out the skills when he wants to, and neither player going for any sort of crazy cheat. Actually, there might be a 12 Nexus here coming from anytime. Bold move without scouting here. So anytime going for 12 Nexus, economic cheese as it is, anytime is definitely, wow, he's a former champion. He's willing to take the risk. Looks like Skyhigh is scouting. This is cross-map positions on Circuit Breaker, so he's going to scout second. Actually, being cross-map helps anytime, not that he knew it beforehand. This is blind 12 Nexus. It can always be dangerous. But being cross-map is going to help him defend. Not to mention, Skyhigh needs to scout this, and he'll have to decide whether he wants to perhaps even do some sort of early pressure with bunkers, but usually that's only really doable if you have your barracks built sort of in a forward position. So, but Skyhigh may elect to respond with, for instance, a 2 factory aggressive push, or get a few more Marines and 3 tanks and do some sort of early push. Remains to be seen how Skyhigh will elect to respond to this. Skyhigh now scouting diagonally. Interesting. I've actually seen pro gamers do this quite often these days. Really should go figure out why exactly this occurs. Unfortunately, I am not sure. I know I've seen Flash do it quite often. On this map, actually, Circuit Breaker did it to Lita with this very interesting scouting pattern. Actually, it was very similar scouting pattern to this. He scouted the main of one, but he didn't scout the main of another one. Well, I guess he sort of scouted the main on the 5 o'clock position because he looked at gas, and that's really all he needed to know. Because Protoss surely would have Simulator up by that time. Anyway, he's going to see the 12 Nexus at this point, so he's going to know what's up. I think Skyhigh might have already put down his command center. If that's the case, he's not going to be able to do some sort of fast push. I can't see though. Actually, no, he's not put down his command center. He's decided to move out his Marines to put on a bit of pressure. Anytime has 2 Zealots there. Unless Skyhigh can bring in some Vultures or a tank or 2, maybe a few SCVs, he's not going to be able accomplished anything. It looks like Skyhigh has responded by putting down a command center. Anytime is an older player, so perhaps Skyhigh is hoping that he can make up the economic disadvantage just with superior macro in general. So we shall see. On the other hand, Anytime could surprise us with impeccable modern macro as it is. We shall see. This probe scout coming out by Anytime getting killed by the vulture. Frankly, Anytime I felt could be a bit more conscientious with his scouting this game. He doesn't really know what Skyhigh has gone for. I think that's a bit of foolishness. Looks like a Citadel of Doom going down for Anytime. He might be getting Templar, in fact, Dark Templar early on. Alternatively, it might be like some sort of super fast crazy arbor play. I find that doubtful. Anytime is quite good with Dark Templar. Once upon a time, he defeated Yellow with only Dark Templar, and Yellow knew it was coming. And Anytime built nothing but Dark Templar. It just was awesome micro. So Anytime, certainly a fearsome force. Templar Archive going down, robotics facility. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Dark Templar drop coming here from Anytime. Interesting response. I think Skyhigh is not going to be bothered by this. He's trying to sneak a Vulture Brood to see if Skyhigh is smart. And gets turrets down soon and gets his scan. I don't think he's going to be bothered by this Dark Templar drop. Although you never know, maybe. I mean, Dark Templar are a flexible tool to employ. Their mere presence can give a Terran player pause and keep them in their base. For instance, Observatory going down for Anytime. He's probably going to build Shuttle first and then an Observer. So, the mere presence of Dark Templar can give a Terran player some pause. They have to, be careful at their main base and not get dropped, for instance. They have to be somewhat cautious when pushing out. It would be foolish to send 3 tanks out unescorted, for instance. Well, actually, that would be true in general. 3 tanks unescorted would just get destroyed by Dragoons. It looks like a scan going down here for High. He did not scan the natural yet, I think, so he doesn't see the Templar Archive. He does see the Citadel, so he might suspect this. Yeah, he suspects this. He's putting down his engineering bay. Anytime has a brief window of opportunity to attack. Looks like Skyhigh might actually have put down his 3rd command center. That is a bold move. Very dangerous move. I'm not sure whether I like this. He's trying to make up the economic disadvantage, it appears, by being aggressive with his expansion. Anytime's going to spot this. I think Anytime's going to have ample time to respond. Looks like he's already dropped a single Dark Templar here. He's going to be able to pick off this SEV building the command center, or actually just do some work on the command center itself. Anytime dropping a Dark Templar in the middle of these SEVs. He can't lay mines there, obviously. Fortunately for Skyhigh, he has some Marines to pick away at that shuttle. Unfortunately, one of the Dark Templar going down to rather foolish Spider Mine, running into Spider Mine rather foolishly, it looks like, and that shuttle getting warded away by these Marines. Turrets are going down. Unfortunately, Anytime not really accomplishing too much with his harass so far. He's using his Dark Templar fairly well, dropping them, picking them up. Not managing to pick up the 2nd Dark Templar. While he wanted to be careful with his shuttle. It looks like Skyhigh managed to sneak. No, he did not sneak the Vultures through. He's going to maybe pick off 1 or 2 probes, so that's at least something. Actually, he doesn't even get 1 probe. But he critically does not see the Arbiter Tribunal that's going up for Anytime. And seeing as how he has to waste quite a few scans to deal with those Dark Templar, Skyhigh is going to be a bit behind in his knowledge of what Anytime is going for. Anytime also putting down his 3rd base. Unfortunately for Anytime, Skyhigh's new expansion has been allowed to build more or less unharassed. I mean, sure, it was been forced to cancel 1 time, but none of the SCVs got killed. It wasn't sort of any critical damage or significant delay in the command center, maybe by 20 seconds or so. Skyhigh's not going to mind that. Looks like these pylons, unfortunately, not working out for Anytime, blocking his own Dragoons from reinforcing this third base here. Finally, Anytime picking off those vultures, he's going to be able to start mining again. So at this point, it's 3 bases on 3 bases. In general, when Terran and Protoss are equal expansion, the Terran has economic lead. So I think Anytime needs to respawn in some fashion, either another expansion or trying to do some sort of attack, or at least trying to catch Skyhigh out of position. If Skyhigh elects not to move out, for instance, getting expansion is a pretty good idea, because it is difficult to assault a Terran force directly. Entrenched Terran position. Skyhigh being very aggressive economically this game, putting down another base now at the 6 o'clock position. He's sort of banking on Anytime not being an aggressive player and using this opportunity to really seriously get his economy up. Anytime also getting expansion at the 12 o'clock, so both players working on getting their economy up, on focusing on macro. Second Stargate going down for Anytime. That's not necessarily indicative of carriers without the fleet beacon, of course, which surely he would have to build. It could just be 2 carriers to pump arbiters, a higher focus on arbiters that Anytime might be going for here. And Anytime trying to push out a bit with his units. Skyhigh not really doing anything with his vultures around the map. He's laid a few mines here and there, but he doesn't really have any presence in the middle of the map. He's in a strictly defensive stance at this point. Not necessarily a bad thing for a Terran to do, especially to mass up their economy like this, considering how unaggressive Anytime puts down the fleet beacon and a 3rd Stargate. Going for carriers. I don't know. Anytime is a very good player with carriers, but against modern Terrans, rarely is carriers that effective. I think Skyhigh is going to be able to scout this out. He's got 4 bases. He can put down more factories and really pump out the Goliaths to deal with these carriers. You know, what I would like to see the Protoss do, actually, one of these times, is sort of a clever switch, if you would. You know, you put down 2 Stargates, you start building units from them, you put down the fleet beacon, you build 2 carriers for show, and the Terran will respond by getting tons of Goliaths, and then you mass up ground forces and go for